of government. Egypt is, according to the Article 1 of the Egyptian Constitution, a socialist democratic state, while Argentina, officially the Argentine Republic, is a sovereign country in South America. It adopts the Republican democratic representative and federal form of government. As soon as to architecture, they built step pyramids, aligned with the cardinal points. In addition, they had a great desire to achieve perfection in their works.
Hello, I will tell you about the culture of these two countries. One thing in common of these countries is that at present both Argentina and Egypt radically predominate two social classes, one high and one low. At the top, it's represented by people with high positions and earnings, as well as having superior academic preparation. At the bottom are working class people and others. A difference of these countries is that Argentina is considered a very warm country, with foreigners and above all friendly. But in Egypt, sometimes they don't see many foreigners well, since Egypt has very orthodox religious customs that others don't comply with or understand when they visit.
A popular classic in Egypt's cuisine is the betuin, so is the lamb and rice dish called mansat. For Argentina is the locros, empanadas, and choripan. A similarity in Egyptian and Argentine gastronomy is the use of meat and bread for various dishes. The difference will be that in Egypt the food is highly seasoned with spices, and Argentina is seasoned with vegetables and salt. The similarity in the tradition between Egypt and Argentina is the basis of family, gift, and big parties. Their differences are the day of celebration, where their Christmas begins on January 7 and New Year celebrated on September 11, known worldwide as 1st and 24 respectively.
Between Egypt and Argentina, there are several similarities in the geographic phase. One of them was the boars that are living on the area. In this case, since both areas are semi-arid, this type of species commonly live in these locations and are able to reproduce accordingly. Another part that appears here that it's from the plants around the areas that are similar are the eucalyptus, which it's a plant originally from Australia, but that was introduced to both these countries. Also, on the location, Egypt is mostly a desert, so one of the similarities that there's between these two countries is that Argentina and Egypt have deserts within their countries, which are massive, by the way. Therefore, the these places are very known locations. And now some of the differences between these two countries on the geographic scale, it's that Egypt has one of the longest rivers in the world. I think it's the second one, while the Argentina country has one of the best locations for the falls. They have these great falls are one of the largest in the continent, in the American continent, uh, which are called Iguazu, which are very different because even though they have water in these countries, like their locations, the way they are distributed, it's very different. Another difference between these two locations, it's the climate, which even though the Egypt is a desert, most of the temperatures can rise up to 40 degrees Celsius. This is mostly between June and July. The temperatures can rise up to 40 degrees Celsius. This is mostly between June and July. Between January and December are one of the coldest parts of the season. Argentina, on the other side, one of the hottest parts of the temperatures of this country during the year are between January and December, since this is considered summer for them, and the coldest are between June and July. This is because of the location of the countries.
A similarity between Egypt and Argentina is that both have four levels of education. Another similarity is that both are required to have completed at least high school and that both have public and private school as well as have almost the same duration of the levels and careers vary 1 year's difference at most. For example, in Argentina depends on the province, the primary lasts a year longer. And a difference between Argentina and Egypt is that in Argentina, both genders are given the preference to study, no matter if they are mothers or married. There are no favorites, so to speak. And in Egypt, are more men than women who study because if you are a woman and you have an obligation at home, you cannot study. Another difference is that in Egypt, the study is free, and in Argentina, it's not free. There, you have to pay.
Religion varies too much between these two countries due to the different reasons. One of them is due to who colonized them. In both countries, Christianity and Islam are practiced, being Christianity the predominant one in Argentina due to the Spanish colonization and Islam in Egypt due to the conquest by the Muslims. The big difference between the two is that in the Latin America country, more relations such as Buddhism, Judaism, etc. are practiced, while in Egypt they are much scarcer.